What's the deal? It's your man, Deshaun Sho Tyme Watkins, and I am here with my lovely Nana. What's the deal?
Like, oh, I thought you was talking to the camera. You talking to me?
Yeah,
The
I'm
deal
talking
is,
to the camera and I'm talking to you.
the deal is I'm here with you.
That's what's up.
Oh,
So, Nana, today is the first time, we committed to doing this, the adventures of Nana and Shawn. We just talk about your upbringing, talk about my upbringing. We're gonna talk about how Comptomania was started in your backyard, how you always been so supportive. And Big Mike says, "Let's go, Nana."
hey, Big Mike.
Yeah, man. Like I talk about you all the time. Like everybody know that we started in your backyard. But let's dive into it. Tell us a little bit about you, and then I'll start asking you questions. But who is Charlotte Watkins?
Okay, well, I was born in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. They tell me that, and they said I was born in my grandmother's back room. And when I was born, my auntie Aunt Fee and Aunt May, they was peeping in the window when I was born. And I stayed in Mississippi, I think, until I was about 4 or 5. My mom came to pick me up, and then we moved to California, LA, and I went to school, 20th Street Elementary School. Then to
Hold
we
on. So
moved.
so hold on real quick. So in Mississippi, you moved like around 4 years old.
We left Mississippi. My mom came and picked me up in Mississippi because my mother had went to New York, and she lived there and worked, and she left me with my grandmother, and then my mother moved to California because her dad lived there. So she moved to California and decided to stay. And once she decided to stay in California, then she met my stepdad. His name was J.C. Gaines. And then they came and picked me up from Mississippi.
Sweet, sweet. Do you remember anything about Mississippi? Did you used to go back to visit or anything like that?
We didn't go, I only went back one time when I was 15. And but my memories of Mississippi was not that great a memory. I remember being in Mississippi and I was riding with my cousin or somebody bigger on a bicycle, and they had told me to make sure you have your feet flared out, and
Hmm.
I didn't flare my legs out, and my foot got caught in the spokes of the bicycle, and I remember that was being so painful and hurting, and that
Ooh.
was one of the Mississippi. Another one was I went to the little nursery school in Mississippi, and I remember it was really cold. And I remember having on, that jumpsuit that the kids have on from head to. And I remember feeling really cute. But I went to school, and I remember being very afraid of the teacher. And we was eating grapes. They had all these grapes, and the kids was eating the grapes. But I had to use the bathroom really bad, and I was too scared of the teacher to tell her I had to use the bathroom. I was so scared. I didn't even want to approach the teacher. And I remember I peed on myself. And the teacher just really got all mad with me and everything. So when my mama, I told my mom or somebody, and I said, I was so scared to ask her, could I go to the bathroom? They said, you have to go to the bathroom. I said, yeah, but I was scared of the teacher. And so they said that wasn't right for a kid to be that scared of a teacher. Anyway, it wasn't too long after then. I remember my mom came to get me, you know.
What? Why?
Yeah,
Why were you afraid of the teacher though? What did the teacher do?
remember, I just remember being afraid, and I was
Hmm.
scared to go. Could I go to the bathroom? And I don't, but I'm saying these are the memories I have of Mississippi. And I have one more memory of Mississippi. And we were in a field. I remember I was little. We was in a field, and one of my older cousins, I believe, we was walking through the field. And so me and her, she was holding my hand. And then these boys came from nowhere, And she started screaming and she said, Charlotte, Charlotte, go get help. Go get somebody. And I remember as a little girl, I was just standing up there and I looked all around. I didn't know where I was. And I remember feeling, I saw the corn was high and I couldn't see. And I just stood there. I don't know what happened. And I'm thinking it must have been something really horrible. And she was crying. And then she said, why didn't you go get help? And I'm saying, I didn't know where to go. And these are all of the memories I have of Mississippi. And none
Dang.
of them,
We probably don't even want to talk about Mississippi no more. Dang.
you know. But I
So
did go
so
back. When I went back for one vacation, I got to meet my great aunties, and they were really nice. They were real nice. And I met my mother's grandmother. And well, I had met her before, but she was getting older then. And I remember Mississippi, I like TV, and so you couldn't turn the TV. You can only have the TV on one channel. So when I went to Mississippi, I thought all they had was just one channel because my great grandmother did not want you to turn her TV. So that's the fourth memory I have in Mississippi.
they had the little turning knob thing. They didn't have no remote controls back then.
She wouldn't let you turn the TV. She had it on that one channel, and that's all. And and now that I'm older, I can understand older people, they're set in their habits, what what they want to do. And because I said, gee whiz, Mississippi only had one channel. I was ready to go home. But my cousin Sharon went with me and she stayed with her daddy's people. And so she was saying, no, Mississippi got a lot of channels. She was saying, Grandma Evans just didn't want you to turn her TV.
Yeah.
So,
So so I know you mentioned Sharon. Let's talk about the relationship with you and cousin Sharon.
well, cousin Sharon, that's my mother's sister child. We're first cousins. We kind of, our families kind of all of us cousins grew up together because we would be over to my grandmother's house all the time. But anyway, Sharon stayed right now. We stayed in the projects. We stayed in Imperial Courts. And when they built Imperial Courts, my grandmother was one of the first people to get an apartment there. And when Imperial Courts was first built, it was low income housing. And it was really nice. They had, they maintained the lawns and everything was really nice. It was families. You had complete families. You had husband, wife, and children.
Mm.
I think over the years, the projects has gotten a negative name because it wound up with a lot of single moms in there with children. But in the beginning, it was low income housing for families. So it was complete families living in there. So anyway, that was our environment. Anyway, my grandmother she lived in Imperial Court. Sharon and her mom family stayed around the corner. My mother, we all stayed close. So we grew up together. It was Sharon, myself, and my grandmother's daughter, Joyce Irene. Reen was 6 months older than myself. And then it was three of us when Mom Maury was little and babies. Mom Maury breastfeeded me. Reen was 6 months older than me, and Jeanette, my oldest cousin, she was 6 months older than Reen. So my grandmother always would tease us and say she breastfeeded all three of us at the same time. So anyway, our family was extremely close. We all sucked on Mama Maury's titties, so we was all close.
Wow. That's
But
that's pretty.
anyway, Sharon was my first cousin, and Reen was my auntie. Jeanette was my uncle's kid, but they stayed on 105th at Central Avenue. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, you know what I mean? It definitely works. So let's talk about your mom, Mama Jenny. Let's talk about your relationship Well, Mama Jenny, like all these people are like gone now, right?
They are. My grandmother definitely go. Anyway, my grandmother, her name was Orally Tillman. And so well, I know I'm gonna do it the way I'm doing it. Okay.
Yeah,
So
go
when you
ahead.
came along, you were wrestling. You always you had those little wrestling men, and you were just all into it, the wrestling. And I would tell you, I said, gosh, if my grandmother, Mama Ori, had have been here, you guys would have really loved it. She was crazy about wrestling. And when I remember this guy, it was this he was white, he had this blonde like wavy hair, and he was one of the big wrestlers. I don't know the name. My grandmother
Gorgeous
was really,
George.
it might have been Gorgeous George. But anyway, the wrestling match would come on, and we would be looking at, and when one of them would do something wrong, my grandmother would jump up out of a chair. She'd pull a dress and be mad and stomping her feet, and she would be all into the wrestling. And then years later, when you came along and you was in this wrestling, and you would have your little men on the floor, and you would be wrestling, they would be wrestling. And if you didn't have the men, you would take pencils and help, with the men and they would be breaking stuff, and you would just be all into it. You would even be knowing what the surroundings were. And I said, gee whiz, it would have been nice if Shawn could have met Mama Ori and they could have had this wrestling energy together.
That's crazy. So it's technically in the blood because Mama Ori was into it.
Oh yes, oh yeah. She was. I think if they had, like you say, number one fans, she would be truly a number one wrestling fan. She would be all into Comptomania.
That's wild. So Nana, when you came out here, like what did you wanted to get into? What was your ultimate dream?
Come on, where?
Out here in
In Cal-
California, I know you.
I had no dream. My mama gave me got me. I had no choice. If I had a choice, I probably would have went to New York. I wanted to go to New York. I wouldn't have been in California if I had a choice.
Mm.
Yeah, I know. I had no dreams. I was a kid.
So when you started going to school, what did you wanted to do?
I just wanted to be one of the in crowd, to be one of the smart ones, to be one of the pretty ones, be one of the accepted ones. Because I never felt like that. I never felt comfortable at school. I always felt
What?
like I was too dumb, too black, too ugly, but just not accepted.
Is this stuff that people would tell you, or this is just how you felt?
You know, I think it's how I felt because when I was young, and how they had the spelling test every week, I would always flunk it. I don't care how I studied. And I could even like study the night before, I think they only gave you 10 of them a week. But it looked like when I took those tests and the test came back, I would fail every week. You get an F every week. That's nothing that can instill any type of confidence or making you feel good about yourself because you feel like a failure.
Mm.
But I was
Wow.
pretty good at math. I did okay in math, but unfortunately, they didn't give you a math test every week. They gave you a spelling test.
Yeah, too. I mean, like I remember too with me going to school, spelling was always tough for me. I would always mix different letters up. I think I'm a little dyslexic, but I
That's what I
also
later. I said I might have been dyslexic, but back then they didn't
diagnose.
diagnose kids, right? But I
Hmm.
self-diagnosed. I said I must have been dyslexic.
I mean, and on top of that too, like sometimes it be the pressure. Sometimes just thinking about doing said job, sometimes those tasks seem way harder because your mind is on, oh my So was it a time
Well,
test too?
I didn't understand that.
Was it a timed test too?
A time test, not really. It's know how they would say, they would pronounce the word, then they would give a sentence, then they would pronounce the word again, and then you had to spell it. And like I said, sometimes I would pass the test at home, and then when I got to school, I was still, if say it was that the word was THAT, I might spell it TAHT or something like that. I would mix them up, and I was saying, no, I know I knew that word. I don't know why I didn't spell it right.
It's
But
straight. Go. I
I
was just
couldn't.
gonna say. I remember my mom was. I told this at the comedy. When we did the comedy, like I kept getting clock and cook mixed up. I got a good ass whooping for that. Like clock, Shawn. What the clock say? Not cook. Where do you get the? I use the clock. COOK. Clock, Shawn. What the clock say? Nah, but that's something I can kind of relate to. Let's talk about this confidence. So where, like, cause when I see old pictures of you, I mean, you were stacked, man. Everybody ain't like stacked like that. Like you was like Mrs. Butterworth in your day. Like you was shapely. If you were like in this day and age, people be going crazy. Um, but was there like a lot of bullies you had to deal with too?
Yeah, I was bullied. I was really bullied in school, and it was one bully. Her name was Margaret. I remember Margaret bullied me all semester, and I didn't stand up to her. I think if I had stood up to her, it wouldn't have been so bad. Um, so I don't know. I don't know why I never stood up to Margaret. I never would stand up to her, and I just let her bully me. And then I don't know. Just don't know. Yeah.
Wow.
But I do know one thing: teachers and administration don't protect you in school. I never really felt like I said. I never really come.
DNL says he says beautiful, and then he says forget Margaret.
But there was two Margarets. One was Big Bully Margaret. Another one was Little Bitty Margaret. Little Bitty Margaret.
Ah,
She was just a little bitty petite little bitty thing, and bullies pick up on bullies, and so little
mm,
Margaret, even though she wasn't big, she would bully, and little Margaret would push and she would do little things and just be jolly. So one day I got so upset. Little Margaret, I just pushed little Margaret out the way. And what happened? The teacher saw me push little Margaret. And the teacher came up and she said, Charlotte, why would you pick on little Margaret? Little Margaret is so little and you so much bigger. And I was saying to myself, little Margaret is the one that was picking on me. And you only saw me push little Margaret, but little Margaret been pushing and hitting me the whole year. You just saw me push little Margaret after all this. Anyway, I got suspended. School.
dang, man, you was getting suspended for pushing little Margaret, man.
They called
Dang.
They called my mom, and I said, "Oh my gosh!" So maybe that's why I didn't fight back. It looked like every time I fought back, something happened.
That's
But
wild. That's wild. So we know for sure you got problems with Margaret. That's for sure. Anybody named Margaret, do not mess with Nana, man. Dang. Nah. So okay. Margaret. I have a story of a Margaret too. So when I was at Jamil, when it was like built or whatever, there was this girl named Margaret. I remember being at the computer lab. I used to stay after school because I was getting bad grades. I was like in middle school, just flunking everything. I didn't give a damn. Like just I don't know, trying to be a clown or whatever. Didn't fit in. But it was this girl named Margaret, and I'm on the computer playing the Oregon Trail instead of doing the homework. And Margaret comes and starts humping the back of my chair. Yeah,
wow,
yeah, yeah. So that's my story of Margaret, and I was weirded out by it. And yeah, that was the end of Margaret because you don't complain if a girl's humping your chair. You just don't go if you feel uncomfortable, right? Like, okay, so Bully says, or Lance Winter says, did Little Margaret ever bother you again? It's crazy how they always see one side of the story.
You know what? Um, Memory is odd because you choose, or your mind lets you choose what you remember. And fortunately, sometimes the bad stuff you don't always remember. Now, I can't remember anything after that. I have snapshots. You know, when you get to be this age, what am I now? 76. You know, you have snapshots of things that happen, and putting it all back together is kind of difficult. And that was so many years ago. But I don't think Margaret and I ever had a problem, after then. I can't, I don't remember. I know I graduated from I left 20th Street School, and then I went to 99th Street School.
Mm.
So I'm not even sure which school that happened in, to be honest with it. I know I went to two elementary schools.
Like, damn it, it was a Margaret. Don't know when, but it was. And Stevie Ward says, don't trust the Margaret. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. We have no beefs with no Margarets, by the way. Margaret.
No, no. That Margaret is not the modern day Karen. No.
Oh, so there's a difference between a Margaret and a Karen. What would a Karen do that a Margaret won't do?
Well, a Karen probably would have went and told the principal a lie that Charlotte hit me. That's a Karen, because a Karen is a liar that tries to get you killed.
Damn.
Because color. Because she'll
Like the
call.
Emmett Till situation.
Oh, you know what, Emmett Till. I remember being scared, not truly understanding, what had happened. I remember the Jet magazine with the mother on that Jet magazine cover and this kid in a coffin. Now I remember that. Um, but Emmett Till, I didn't really comprehend what happened fully until I got older.
Mm.
Uh, you know, I was I really wasn't in the black movement thing when I was coming up, because my family, I don't know anybody that got on the bus who went to Washington, but I really got involved when I went to Compton Community College in my 20s, and I took Black history classes. And that's when I really got the understanding of my history, of our history, Black history, because they didn't teach it in school. But
So,
Compton Community College had a good program back then.
so Stevie Ward says Karen's called the police, and Tyra Bird said, "Hey Nana, three hearts."
Hi. Yeah, Karen will call the police on you and try to get you, especially you black men, killed. And hi,
That's
but I don't think
wild.
the Margaret's, we can't identify the Margaret's with the modern day Karens. No.
Okay, okay. Was there like a period in time in school that just was like the ultimate of ultimate? Like, I know I'm gonna jump straight to it. Like, you love theater. What made you fall in love with theater?
Well, I love theater, and I always wanted to be in theater arts. And I wanted to do it when I was in high school, but I wouldn't, because I didn't feel, like I said, I didn't feel confident. And I didn't understand that, and I couldn't read well. I could not read well. Throughout my whole experience with school, I never got good grades. And I mean, I passed enough to went from grade to grade to grade to graduate, but I really never felt confident enough. And I wanted to join the theater arts, but I didn't have confidence enough to actually go and do it. And
Okay,
so
we
when I in community college as an adult, I think I needed an elective. So I just took the elective. And then I fell in love. I fell in love with it. And all those years I wanted to do it and I never would. But I had Dr. Van Deel was my teacher, and he was fresh out of he had just graduated from what was it, USC, I believe.
Now check this out. Put a pin in it right there. Dr. Van Neal was your college teacher and mine. How freaking insane is that?
Because when I went back to college, I went back as an adult with with no, with one kid. And when I was at Compton Community College, I was pregnant, and I had my daughter on Christmas break. We was out for Christmas break, and I had my daughter during the Christmas break, and then I went back to school because I wanted to go back, and so I hope I bonded with, because and then my daughter had to go. She went to a nursery school, where I went to college, because that's what happened. So that's how we wound up with the same teacher. He had just got out of college, and he was my teacher. And then years later, he was your teacher. When you
That's
got
wild because he remembered you. He was like, "Your last name is Watkins?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Charlotte Watkins?" I was like, "Yeah, that's my grandma." He was like, "What?" And I have to say this, rest in peace to Dr. Van Neal. He is no longer with us anymore. But that's wild. Me and my grandma had the same acting teacher. Now, Stevie Ward says, being a golden 76 years young, what is your favorite generation so far that you've lived?
oh, my favorite generation. It wasn't my 20s, not my 30s. Oh, and you know what? It might have been my 40s. It might be I don't know. Shoot, I remember. I remember being in love, real hard in love, in my late 20s and 30s. Yeah, that was fun for a while before it got ugly.
Okay.
So, so I get 30s. Yeah, 30s was a good year. Good
Okay.
decade.
My boy Zach B. Lopez says, Wilsey, Wilsey.
Woozy, 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 woozy,
so yeah, that's crazy. So okay, that's a lot of stuff. We can go. All right, let's skip into me and you now a little bit. Um so I was born in '85. Mama Ori, who we talked about early, she died in '84. She died a
woozy.
year before I was born. So um now you have your first son, Shawn Senior. Some people call him Deshaun Watkins, Cosmo. What was your relationship with my pops, your son?
Okay, he was rambunctious from the time he was a little bitty boy, and you know he he was real dark. He was real dark, but he had the um, touch of personality, and and I had a problem with dark, cause I was dark, and I always wanted light kids, cause I figured they had a better chance.
Hmm.
But okay, we get deep with this. I had two boyfriends, y'all, at the time. Now, I'll just go ahead and be honest. In the 60s, they had this thing like make love, not war, So I did have two boyfriends. And one was really high yellow, and one was really not high yellow, very dark. I don't know. It was such a big contrast. Anyway, I got pregnant. And my first choice was to say the light guy, the real high yellow one was the daddy.
Yeah.
So we played that off for the whole 9 months. Went to the hospital, had the baby. My baby was like choco black. really charming.
Yeah.
Really charming. So anyway, that was Shawn. That was my first experience with Shawn. Yeah, because I thought I was
Was
gonna have
you
really
okay? So when he saw, so he was at the hospital with you,
who
the
the
light
yellow guy.
skin.
Yeah,
They both was
he
at the
played.
hospital or just one?
No, just the one. The black one. I told him I was pregnant. He was saying, "Oh no, nothing to do with it." So,
Yeah.
so the light skinned said, "Okay." He was happy, but that was that.
When he saw the baby first come out, he was like, "Heck no, huh?"
No, he didn't. He was still nice, and but I think we all knew. We
Dang.
played it. We played it for a few years, but unfortunately, the dark skinned boy, his mom stayed two doors away from us, and she would see your dad out there playing in the yard and stuff, and she'd be looking at Deshaun, and I knew that was her grandbaby. And she told somebody, she says, "I think that's my grandbaby." And but I was so angry with her son for just not supporting me. I said, no, she ain't gonna have nothing to do with him. And she didn't. And I see her looking out the window, and I would let Shawn be your dad be out there playing, and I'll see the lady looking out the window. Then I feel bad about this now because I love you so much. And I said, I denied that lady a chance to get to know him. She died. She died. She's no, she didn't live too much longer. And then I said, I feel so bad about that because I should have let her know her grandson. You probably got people out there and you don't even know. I ain't gonna tell you their last names because they might be. I'll tell you because their last names are Williams. So
Williams.
Williams, yeah.
So
That it's
I could have been Deshaun Williams.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
if you see somebody named Williams and y'all kind of look alike,
cousin. Yeah. Nah, that hey, maybe that's interesting. So look, so it says DNL says Team Dark Skin. Babe says Team Williams. Uh, let's see. So DNL was telling me, or Stevie Ward says, do a 23andMe, cuzzo. Now I know you did one, right?
Right.
Like ancestry.com. Do you remember what it says? And then Babe says Hezekiah and Ruth is both Williams. Um, that's crazy.
Well, let me see. We did the my youngest granddaughter had did it for me. Glad I'd been talking about it for years that I was gonna do it. Anyway, she did it, and it turns out that I'm so much percent Nigeria, so much I forgot the percentage. It's down here somewhere, but I'm like 40% Nigerian. I got 1% Irish, and that's something.
Mm.
1% Irish for those two, and I guess a different, mostly black and stuff like that. But the percentage, I forgot the percentage. I have to look it up.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope, man.
But the
This is
interesting
it.
percent Irish, 1%.
That's
So we
wild.
all got blood in us somewhere.
Yeah. So back to the situation. What made you get into the arts?
Okay, the theater arts, when I went to Compton Community College, I think that was one of the electives. And I had said, okay, I did all the things I would not do when I got to Compton Community. I took up modern dancing. I always wanted to do modern dances. I took up modern dances. I took up theater arts because for years I knew I could sew well. That was the first thing that I ever did was to sew, and that was in junior high school when I made a great grade. I made an A, and so then I got into sewing, and so I knew how to sew very, very well. But then when I got to come to me, I started to do everything that I always wanted to do and didn't have the courage to do, and that's why I took modern dance. Then I took the theater art class. So
Mm.
in class, like I said, I had Dr. Van, who would push
Yes.
you in situations, and then you had to improv and I just fell in love with it. I just fell in love with it, and I thought I could, Then I've got good grades, and so I said, I think I could go to Hollywood. I think I could really pursue this. Now, mind you, I was at this point, I was like 28 with two kids, still not married. And so then I was getting ready to graduate. I was getting, 28, 29. I was going to graduate from Compton Community College. And so I went to the counselor. And so the counselor said, well, what do you really want to do? You have to do it. And I said, I really want to do something, but I don't. I don't want to tell anybody because if I tell somebody, they might talk me out of it. She says, "Oh no, just tell me, and we can see how we can do it." And so I told her, I said, I want to be an actress. I want to go to Hollywood and be all proud and stuff. That woman said, hmm. Well, Charlotte, we have to be realistic about this thing. And, going to Hollywood and become an actress, is that really being realistic? And I mean, that
Mm.
woman, I allowed her to bust my bubble. I allowed her to take my dream and stomp on it. And I didn't go to Hollywood. I didn't pursue acting. So I went to Cal State, Long Beach, and took up social welfare.
Mm.
And and I said, what? I mean, like 27 is not old. I could have, And I said, you never allow anybody to bust your bubble. And I
Mm.
said, I wasn't hungry enough. If I had been hungry enough, I wouldn't have let her do that to me. But I said, yeah, I'm 27 or 20, whatever the age is. I do have two kids. I'm not married. I need to, so that's what
You
happened.
real quick, Poe says, "Yo, what's the deal, Poe?" Also, Nana, I gotta tell that story from this perspective. I'm gonna get to what DNL say after I tell this. So I remember you telling me that story when I was like 6 years old. We were just leaving Greater Phillips Chapel. We was coming off of Indigo. We made a right onto Murr, and we were at the stoplight, and we were going to make a left onto what street is that?
Ah, I think don't when you make that left, don't Merrick continue or do it become Laurel? I'm not
I think it
sure.
just turned into Laurel from right there, right? Something like
Mm.
that. So we sitting at the light, and I remember I'm sitting down, I'm looking up to you at this time, and I see you with your glasses on, and the tears dropping, and you was like, I really wanted to be an actress, and you told me that story. And at this time, I hated being in front of people. I just like to do like this man stuff, play with my toys, and I want to get to some wrestling. But when I saw you crying, and then you would ask me, "What do you want to be? You want to be a because at first I would say fireman or this, that, and the other, and then I would say a preacher or. But when you said that, I'm like, I'm gonna be an actor, Nana. I'm gonna be an actor. Like, and you was like, no, you don't have to be no actor. That was my thing. And I'm like, from that point on, that's been one of the fire things that's been driving me since I was like 6. I refuse to let somebody tell me nothing. I want that smoke. Like that used to make me so mad. Like whoever made my nana cry right now, I want to destroy. I was so pissed. Like I'm 6 years old processing this information. The one person that makes me actually want to live another day. How dare they make her? How dare? Like I was so like that. That right there was a different kind of fire. So that's. Oh, and then Stevie Ward says, "Well, Nana, you can have your own show right now." I mean, I know this is like on the spot, but we got to get you maybe next week, next Thursday. Bring Aunt T, Nana. Let's meet Aunt T so people could see this next Thursday around 1 o'clock on the Adventures of Charlotte and Shawn Part 2. Let's see Auntie.
Auntie has not lived in years. Auntie was a character that I made up, you guys, years ago, from Black history. And she was a composite of many, many stories I read in Black history classes and situations. But Auntie has been dead for, ooh, oh, I haven't did Auntie since the what? The 90s, the early.
Nah, it was definitely 2000 because remember I was doing the Martin Luther King thing and we went to the senior citizen spot. And remember,
Yeah,
we was having that little competition. I'm like, yeah, Nana, you was the thespian of the year. I'm like, I'm gonna destroy you today. Like we had this little bet that who was gonna have like the best performance at the senior citizen place. And I was doing Martin Luther King, you were doing AT. So I remember when we first walked in, I'm like, yo, this is my opportunity. I'm gonna show her what I got. And then Nana says, I'm going first. I'm like, okay, you going first. That makes it even easier for me. Tyra says, Babe says, you, Nana, you are such an inspiration. Um, so we go up in the spot and you say you go up there, you do AT, you kill it. You kill it. Like you kill it. You guys, if anybody know me, know like I'm really competitive, especially when it comes down to anything performance. I'm gonna fuck you up. Like that is my thing. Like I'm going for it. So she kills it so bad. I start shaking, and then it's like, okay, you do the Martin Luther King. I do the Martin Luther King. Of course, the older people gonna like the younger bull. Of course, right? Nana killed the shit out of me, you guys. Listen, she's like the dopest thespian ever. I'm telling you. That Auntie character, when she becomes that character, it's creepy. It's insane. It's insane.
but Auntie haven't performed since well the early when did you graduated in 2003, right?
Yep.
From
Yep.
So Auntie was that was before 2003 because she was still in at Jordan, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. So that was like probably 2002, something like
Probably,
that. But
yeah.
I didn't even have the best Martin Luther King impersonation. You know what I mean? But you destroyed me. So you still got it. It's in you. So next week, I need to hear it confirmed. Next week, are you bringing Auntie?
Well, let's talk about it. Maybe a couple of weeks. So I got to
Okay.
even I got to
Episode
challenge.
3. Episode 3, we'll see Auntie. Auntie. So Stevie Ward says, this is beautiful. People need to understand how important grandparents are, a wealth of knowledge and inspiration. And then Mama Way says, I love your Nana. She's so inspirational to all of us. Man, see, Nana, that's Mama Way right there. Mama Way is Aiden Way's mom. He's going after the Compton Boulevard Championship right now.
Amen.
Man,
Go
uh,
supportive mothers and grandmother.
absolutely, because Aiden Way and his mom have a story too, which is so it's out of this world. It reminds me of me and you, Nana. It's insane. Like it's really insane. So okay, so this is a wealth. And any of you guys in the chat, if you want to ask a question, go ahead and ask it. I'll put it up there, and then Nana, you can answer the question. So you guys can ask Nana whatever you want. But Nana, what you taught me a lot of different things. Um, one of the things that you taught was face your fears. Excuse me, I just burped a little bit. Face your fears. I remember we had a little mouse in the kitchen because in Compton, everybody know the little stray little mice. They'll get in every now and again. So the mouse was dead. It was dead on the floor. You like, Shawn, pick it up. No, you know, no. I mean, I'm falling out crying. You like, Shawn, you gotta have courage. Shawn, you have to face your fears. No, 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 no. I'm like, hey, this is like I'm not picking up this dead rat. So you said I am. Listen, I have to also preface. This is a kid that is trauma that's going through all kind of different stuff. Lost his dad at an early age, you know. So Nana is trying to. She gets a paper towel. She puts it in my hand. She grabs my hand. Open your hand, Sean. Picks up her little mouth, put it in the trash bag, threw it away. She was like, face your fears. And I'm like, like I'm just melting, like something else just happened. But Nana, you always encourage me to face my fears. Why? Tell people why you did that.
Because we can't walk around scared. I feel like most of my life I walked around being scared, not really, not so much your fears, but facing anything, facing other people. One of the things I wanted to do too, I wanted to go into the service. I wanted to go into either the wax or the Navy or something. And my people all told me, no, you can't do it. You know, women don't do that. And my uncle, who was in the service, he told me, I told him, I said, Merle, I want to go into the service. He looked at me, he said, no, only women that go into the service are dykes.
Oh damn! No
I said,
chaser,
yeah. I said, oh, you know.
huh?
And then I wanted to go. I told you when I left high school, I wanted to go to New York. They talked me out of going to New York because I said I can go to New York. I can start my life there because I always wanted to go to New York. And I always let people influence me, stop me from doing things. And I just didn't want my kids to be like that. I always wanted you guys to know you could do anything. Just like when you wanted to be, you said you wanted to be an actor. You wanted to be in what is it, the comedy. I told you, I said, go get your job in Hollywood. Go to Hollywood, get a job there. Uh, just do it. So I'm thinking I just didn't want you guys to be hindered in whatever you thought you could do. You can do it. Just do it. Don't let people stop you. That's all. Maybe
I have to. Yeah, that's a good reason. So, Mama Way says, I just want to say I'm so impressed and inspired and just in awe at the outstanding young man you have raised here, Nana. He's such a great and true caring person. I love him dearly. Thank you so much, Mama Way. Hey.
thank you. That was one of the goals. His dad, I don't know what his dad was killed at uh, 21. He was age 21. And I have two biological children, his dad, and then my daughter Jolie. Jolie's father had additional kids, and my bonus child, his name is Joe Desmond Calhoun. That's my bonus child.
Hey.
My other bonus child was Jovina. She passed away during COVID, and she was my other bonus child from Jolie's dad. So now I have Jolie and I have well, I call him Jodez, but his name is Joseph. They call him Joseph. Still
Man.
living.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's Yeah, rest in peace to Joe Vita, man. Um, uh, Mama Way says, "Ouch, I'm no dyke." Hey, 'cause she was in the service, you know.
In this life.
Yeah.
And that's
um,
what I shouldn't have let them stop me. I should have went on and pursued it, but I let them stop me.
yeah. Kyra says, "Love you, Nana." Stevie Ward says, "Showtime is a great comedian." Um,
Yeah.
so Dang, there's so many different places we can go from here. I'm glad we gon' and ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do this every Thursday. This is our goal is to basically the stuff that Nana has taught me as a little kid till till now as a man. We want to turn this into an animation. So the best way I was like, in order for us to start this, let's just talk about some of these things so then that way we can go back, look at it, write it, and then create the animation so you guys could see the adventures of Nan. Well, yeah, Nana and Shawn, even or Charlotte and Shawn. But would you like CC? We come up with a better name.
Well,
I
CC,
like
CC is
Nana though. Nana's like it's like a we can say your name in a show, but it's like when you say Nana, it's like people used to say, I love the way as a kid when I'd be like, hey Nana, that's my Nana. Even though you my grandma, it's like it was like that's my Nana. I don't know like if there's a difference or whatever, but that's why I always say Nana's backyard. But what you think?
you can call me anything you want to call me. I am not offended with anything you want to call me. Anything anybody else want to call me. Because you know what? I even think a bitch is kind of is good. It's a female
Who?
dog, huh?
Nah, man, ain't nobody about to be calling you
Oh,
that. That's good.
I'm saying I do not get offended. That's your hang up. If you got to hang up about words, that's okay. I don't. Because I can hold my own now. I have became a big girl. People don't scare me like they used to. You won't stop me if I want to do something. So I'm okay. So whatever you think you got nerve enough to call me, I'm ready to receive it. With no
Yeah,
hang-ups, no problems, with a smile and love. So
man.
whatever, whatever makes your boat float. I'm good. I listen to the rap words. I used to get offended, about different things. But what's the girl that calls her? She says she the best one. Molly, what's her name? She got she's pretty popular. She's a rap singer.
Nicki Minaj, Cardi B,
Who is
Megan
it?
Thee Stallion,
No, would you say Carly B or somebody where she says she's the best one and
all of them say that.
okay, well then whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever. All I'm saying is words don't offend me and they don't build me. It's what you got inside, you know. So whatever y'all want to call me, it's fine. I know you're gonna be respectful, and if you ain't, I can stand, I can take.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be one of those kind of situations. So
I'm
okay,
saying, I don't think it's gonna be that anyway. I'm just saying words are just words.
right.
Words don't make you, and words don't break you.
It
And I used
depends.
I used to tell you when you was little. You know how people want to fight because they say they were talking about my mama, so I hit them. No, you wanted to fight because you wanted to fight, not because they was talking about your mama. People use
Mm.
words excuse to do things that they want to do. That's all I'm saying. Not that I think y'all gonna call me anything wrong. It's just that words are words. So don't let words get in the way.
DNL said in this show he sees 4 shows already. So
You
another thing you taught was I'm 13 years old, going to Long Beach, Jordan. You know, that's a whole nother story. Mom's was not gonna let me go to Compton because I wanted to go to Compton, but she like, no, the hood over there. You're not going to Compton. That was her hood, which is in Palmer's hood, basically. No way. So anyway,
Now your
I'm
mom,
going
you
along.
net didn't want you to go to
Net.
Compton.
That's mom. Samaria Bender Net. Nina girl. They called her so many different things, but so I go to Jordan. And that's another episode. I gotta tell y'all how they made me enroll myself into high school. That's a whole nother different story. But at 13 years old, at 13 years old, um, Nana had and real quick. So Stevie wore Nana too, right? He actually went to DeMille. I don't know too many people that's been to DeMille. But that's a whole nother story. So 13 years old, you're telling me to face my fears, and life is all about making choices. You said at the age of 13, 14, you're at an age where the choices and the decisions you make can determine you to have a certain kind of future or this or a bad situation. You can either set yourself up in a good way or you can set yourself up in a negative way. That came into play when one day I'm walking out of the back of Jordan, me and one of my friends is a guy that pulled up in the car. We hop in the car. So he's driving. So we get to Howland Park that's right next to us. So I'm like, where you get this car from? He's like, yeah, I stole it. And the only thing I can hear, Shawn, life is all about choices. Today is the day. What are you going to do? I said, let me out this month right now. He was like, oh no, like he's like, what you mean? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm like, I'm out of here, bro. Like, yeah, my grandma will be here in a minute because she used to pick me up all the time. And other homies like, nah, let's just go for one ride. Like, nah, I'm out of here. We get out, he drive off, which is the next street is Harding. I think he makes a right. After he makes a right, high speed chase, ain't seen him since, man. Listen, Nana had me like taken care of because that could have been something that could have still messed me up today.
That was Jesus. That was the Lord watching over you.
Man, because that was, I'd be like, damn, every morning she giving me the same speech. And you know, you put in your headset, we listening to Dave Vernon McGee, Focused on the Family, Dr. Dobson, you know, all the Christian shows. I'm like, ugh, you know, being a teenager, you get out of the car, the first thing you hear is like some DMX, like, you know what I mean? First you're gonna, like, that was just the whole little situation. And man, I just want to take this time, this the first episode of the Adventures of it's Charlotte and Shawn, but I like Nana and Shawn, but that's what we gonna name it. The cartoon will be something different. But Charlotte and Shawn, man. I just want to say I appreciate God. I appreciate the family lineage I'm in because you are a major reason why I'm here today. You supported me when I was doing acting. You supported me when I was doing comedy. You supported me in everything, even though I come in and eat up all the food. I come in and don't lift the toilet seat up always. You know what I'm saying? This is my Nana. My Nana always believed in me, even when I wasn't making necessarily the right choices. She's always spoke positive words to me. She's always loved on me, always. So it's like you are like one of the deepest jewels I've ever had, and I love you so much. And I just want to spend forever with you. Like I like this is something that no one will ever take from us, and this is something that will go on way after we both gone. That we did this together and we experienced this, and we have our own show. The one who inspired me, I said, Nana, I'm gonna be an actor for you. Not only that, we're gonna have a show together. And love you, Nana. And shoot, how you feel?
I love you
First
too, and
episode.
I am extremely proud of you, and I am extremely proud of Compton Mania and all of you young men and women, Black young men and women who are coming together in such a positive manner. And really, you all are inspired to me and the generation coming up behind you all. And I'm proud of all of you. You know, it used to be it was a movie called, I think, all my sons, all my children, and I feel so proud. And I like Mama, what's her name, Mama
Mama
Wade.
Way, but Michelle on here.
Yeah, you know, I know she understands what I'm saying, that you are some outstanding young people, and just keep up the good work. Any way I can support you or be part of it, I'm all in. You know, I wish I had more energy. COVID kind of hit me in the upside my head, but I'm recovering and I'm grateful. And now God got me here for a reason, and maybe it was just to do this podcast. I don't know, but you do notice, everybody, I put me on some eyelashes. I got some eyelashes on
Yeah.
too. And I put some eyebrows on. I slicked my hair down because it fell out. So I was trying to get, oh, to put me on some black lipstick for you. There's my black lipstick. So anyway, I love y'all
Man.
and thank you. Y'all make me feel pretty.
Yeah, Nana. And also, next episode, we'll talk about you and sewing. 'Cause,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we'll talk about, and then too, we got to get an episode where you playing the piano. We finna go all the way in. Show them
I have
some of your art, all that.
no. I took piano up in doing after I retired, you guys. So I haven't since I've been out here. It's been almost a year. I came out here, and I'm in Hemet now, and I came out here in August, and I haven't been practicing. So we probably won't do the piano.
For sure. Stevie Ward says Nana is doing a great job and still is. Then Mama Way says paving the way for the youngsters to have something positive they have to look forward to. Yes, they are all outstanding and have my full support. She supports us as well.
Amen.
She's also her and Poe are Comptomania certified. They got their Comptomania yearly passes. And you guys, if you haven't done it yet, go to comptomania.com, click where you from, and that is how you can watch where you from our offer based pay per view. And that's it. You can follow Nana on Charlotte Watkins on Facebook. She's still learning how to use it, so if she don't respond, just catch her on Thursday. Love y'all. And we are out of here. We'll see. Let me see if I can give y'all
Susie.
give y'all something good to leave out of. Let's see what we got. What we got. Let's leave on. Ah, what do we got? I'm gonna get better at StreamYard too, guys. I'm out here struggle streaming, but let's give them with some fishbone Willow. Go get you some fish.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the fishbone on Willow. We'll see. Let's check this sucker out. There's a little lime on it. Let's taste the shrimp. Fire. Poison. Boulder. Moving. And look at this fish just snapping right here. We'll see. We'll see. Make sure you come to 321 East Willow in Long Beach, California. The fishbone.
Peace out, guys.